Hi guys, you're ready for your virtual tour of the costume shop? Let's go. This is the Fresno State Theater Arts costume shop. As you can see, there's a lot of cool stuff in here. Let's look at some of the specifics. Beginning with safety first. Here is our flammables cabinet. This cabinet is where we keep all of the spray paint and things like that. If you break a needle or something happens, this is where you drop your sharps. Used razor blades, all of that. It is not for medical waste, only sharp things that need to be disposed of that should not be thrown away. In the costume shop, we have 11 of these Bernina sewing machines. They are light industrial, which means they can handle a lot of almost any fabric, but they're not super great with heavy stuff. So save those gigantic canvas tarps for something that's industrial and made for it. Each sewing machine has a cover over it to protect it from dust, but when you are using the machine, the cover goes on the back of the chair. When you're not, it goes right back on top. This is an industrial serger. It uses the 3 threads that you see coming off these spools to create an interlocking stitch that goes over the edge of a seam. This prevents fraying and makes the costumes ultimately last longer. Because it's industrial, it's super loud. You hear it warm up like that. You got your foot pedal down here. It does have a blade that can cut, so before you use it, make sure you do an intro with me so that you use it safely. This is my desk, and behind you will see a bookshelf that is full of the construction and fabric books. Design and all other costume books are inside of Elizabeth's office. If you need access to these at any time, just let us know. Here is our telephone and our printer. Remember, the printer is just for costume shop use, not for printing your assignments. This is a desk for Heather or whatever other second professional we have here. On this bulletin board, this is where we typically have renderings. One thing that's very important in a costume shop is to make sure you always have all the information for the shows posted so that everyone has access to the information at the same time. Another place where we keep show information is on this shelf in the show Bible. A show Bible includes everything a costume shop would need to know about the costumes so that in the event the designer got hit by a bus, you could still make the show happen. Each actor has a name tab. Behind each name tab, you would have any information you would need, including fitting notes, measurement sheets, and typically renderings and research as well. We keep the show Bible over here where we keep all of our other office organization and some other supplies. Some of the things they have up here, we have the timesheet Bible. This is the folder, if you do lab hours in the shop, where you record your time. We have information on rentals and dry cleaning so that if we rent costumes out, anyone can grab this binder and process a rental, sample student projects, and our archive of measurements. Here, we also have general office supplies, including highlighters, pens, pencils, tape, staplers, tags, and things like that. In these flat drawers, we keep several items that you would need to create costumes. Rulers in the top drawer, more office supplies. This is where we keep our fabric scissors. You never want to use fabric scissors on paper. We have a separate drawer for those. These have been misfiled, as well as drafting supplies, paper, art supplies, all envelopes. This is another bookcase where we keep some important things. We have our hooks and eyes and our snaps in these pull-out drawers. We have archive binders at the bottom. And then one of the most important things we have are these binders of MSDS sheets. An MSDS sheet stands for Material Safety Data Sheet. In here, you will find everything organized by where you would find the item. This binder has crafts and adhesives in it. Next, we have an MSDS sheet for every single chemical item in the costume shop. This particular one is for acrylic paint, and we label it by type of item. We highlight the manufacturer and we highlight the product class or what it is. So this lets us know it's paint. We flip, oh, here's more paint. More paint. Here's Elmer's glue. And you can see that we have all the information here that we would need to use the product safely. This is a costume shop, laundry, craft, and dye room. This is where we wash the clothing between performances. Also, where we store craft supplies, cleaning supplies, pantry supplies, foil, towels, Ziploc bags, oven mitts, dyes, respirators, and more dye. This is where we store respirators and masks. In these respirators, if you look at the picture, you can see how it's worn, but it's a piece that fits over your nose and mouth. And then there is an organic filter cartridge that attaches to each side. Air goes through the cartridges, filtering out any vapors that would be present. And then here's your exit valve to breathe out. We wear these when we spray paint, use acetone, or anything else that has any kind of vapor or fume, not particulate. This is where we keep gloves. We have both latex and nitrile gloves. These gloves are what you would use if you were just need to protect your hands from something that would make them messy, or in the rare event you would need to deal with any kind of non-skin absorbing dangerous liquid. These gloves here are rated to keep you safe against skin absorbers like acetone or shoe barge. We also have some that stay on this drying rack here, but these gloves have a very specific purpose. If you notice a pair has a rip or something like that, please let us know so we can take care of it. This cabinet is where we store laundry supplies. Things like OxiClean, Scotchgard, Borax, Febreze, laundry bags. These lingerie bags are what we wash delicate things in to help protect the fabric from the centrifugal force of the costume shop. This is also where we store the ammonia. In this cabinet below the sink is where we store the bleach. We have cleaning supplies down here, but the most important thing is that down here we store bleach. Up here we store ammonia. Why? Because when you put them together, they create a very, very toxic gas that can kill us, or at the very least clear out this building and make it unusable for a few days. The dyes that we use are primarily powder dyes. Here are ones that have not been reset. And here are ones in the container with the proper safety labeling. Because we use powdered dyes in the costume shop, it's important to remember not to keep anything that dye could get on, including food or drink, when we are working here in the room. So if you have a snack or something, where are we going to put it? Inside the refrigerator. Make sure you keep all food and drinks inside the refrigerator if the dyeing is happening. These are our irons. They are industrial irons with a gravity feed water tank. You put the water in the tank up here, it goes down through this filter and then down into the iron. These are fantastic irons. They are preset with a temperature, so you never need to adjust the temperature on them. Unlike your home iron, they always lay flat on this metal and rubber pad, and we always keep a towel underneath in case it spits water. There's a steam button right here. Unfortunately, lefties, these are very much geared towards right-handed people. So we have this nice large surface for ironing, including a piece that comes up to act like a traditional ironing board. Anything you would need for ironing is stored down here. We have things like a sleeve board. You know how it's annoying when you have a sleeve and you iron the underside the same as the top? This solves that. We have a pressing ham. And then we also have items like this. We have vinegar in a spray bottle to help get creases out of natural fibers, static guard, a spray bottle of water, and a pitcher to refill the irons. In the back, you do see some cans of starch that adds body to cotton shirts, like when you want to make sure your dress shirt is nice and crisp. We have several different types of hangers in the costume shop. We have the suit hangers, we have traditional metal hangers, strut hangers, and clip hangers. They each have an individual purpose. I'm sure you can guess what they are. Suits, pants, most things that are not suits and pants that need to be folded over an hanger. These are our working costume racks. Right now, most of the clothes you see is part of an organizational project I'm doing, but I did pull this out. How we organize the rack is we have a placard with each person's name and their character written on it. And then behind that, we have a ditty bag. It's one of these see-through bags where we can store things like socks, ties, jewelry, small items that would not traditionally be hung up. We would have them organized by actor, last name, front to back, and if it's a large show, we will keep one rack for men and one rack for women. Here are our cutting tables. The big rule for these cutting tables is we never want to have any type of food or drink on them. If you do a lab in the costume shop, you are welcome to bring food or drinks with you, but as stated before, keep them in the kitchen, or you can place your covered drink right here. Along this back wall, we have cabinets with sewing notions. You'll get very familiar with these as you find hand sewing supplies, paper scissors, measuring tapes, seam rippers, pins, tweezers, rickrack piping, all of the thread in all of the colors, and then tools. Both above and below, we have fabric storage. We have it organized by color, up top, and down low. We keep the fabric bundled because that helps keep it neat and easy to grab without creating an avalanche. You will also see information on these boards, such as how to properly hang a garment, different types of hangers, how to properly hang pants, examples of stitches by hand and machine, and different techniques that you would use on the machine, as well as a measuring guide. The other important thing you need to know down here is our first aid drawer. In the first aid drawer, we keep basic safety supplies, including Band-Aids, ibuprofen, Neosporin, and moleskin. Things that if you got a small pinprick, you would be able to take care of the wound, but nothing life-threatening. If you get an injury that is even a little bit more than that, we're going to ask you to go to the Student Health Center. That's why it's there, and you don't want an injury that's small to turn into something big. This tray cabinet is used to organize individual supplies and projects for shows. Each tray can be labeled for something specific, whether it's holding a collection of jewelry options for a character. It could be a project like Heather's project right here that has her patterning research and pattern for something she created for Detroit 67, or even a place where we keep Drama 34 examples, extra pattern paper, and apron supplies. This is our notions cabinet, which is badly in need of some gussying up, but this is where we keep things like interfacing, which we add to the inside of garments to make them have more structure. Twill tape. We traditionally use this for labels. Twill tape is very strong and does not stretch, and is also used to make seams more sharp in tailoring. Elastic, hook and eye tape, Petersham waistbanding and belting. These are all names for types of things that can be used for waistbands. Buttons, bias tape, and then some corset boning and large rolls of lace hem tape. This is our main costume storage. In this room, you will find the majority of women's clothing that are typically used. We have a shoe wall, women's suits, women's skirts, women's period dresses, women's period bodices and petticoats, blouses, shawls, underwear, corsets, aprons, scarves, accessories, more costumes. This is where we start organizing from 1910 and we wrap around 1940s, getting into the 1960s and 70s of hanging dresses. Below, shoes. Above, women's undergarments. Above in boxes, women's tops. 80s to modern day dresses. Women's pants. Women's tops. Specialty shoes. All the vests. Smocks, which you are welcome to wear if you need to keep your clothes neat when we ask you to do a project that could get messy. Suspenders. Ties. Belts. You'll notice every single thing is clearly labeled. When you put things away in the costume shop, you need to make sure you are carefully reading the labels so things go back exactly where we can find them again. Things incorrectly put away in stock can cause us to have to repurchase an item unnecessarily. 3-piece suits. Men's 2-piece suits. Here are the jeans. One of our goals for organizing within the costume shop is to make sure you only have to answer 2 questions in order to put something away. With jeans, what color are they? What is the waist size? With t-shirts, is it solid or printing, and what color? From the main storage room, we head into the men's dressing room. In these cabinets, you will find things that are hung up, like shirts. We have short sleeve shirts and standard collar shirts organized by color and neck size. Here's our men's storage. You'll see that with the pants, they are organized by waist size. You need to look for the little tab and put the waist size behind each tab. We always organize smallest on the left to the right. Up top, suit coats, organized by chest. This is our men's dressing room. It's a little not put together right now because with the summer cleaning, the custodians have moved some of the materials around. Like this guy. So we have shirts and things like that above. These are not well organized yet. That is on the list for this year, but what is organized, check it out, guys. These cabinets are full of sweaters. If you have a sweater that's a pullover and green, it goes here. A cardigan and the colors. This is our main women's dressing room. Very similar to the men's dressing room. It's still a little bit out of sorts after the summer cleaning. Some notable things. Fabric storage in these cabinets. This is a place where we hold items like practice dresses for wardrobe, extra ditty bags. If you are taking part in one of our productions, when you arrive, there will be one locker designated for the actors to put their things in, and one locker designated for crew. It's important when you come to work on a show that you stow your items away so that it keeps the floor clear and keeps everything neat and organized. Nothing works if it's not organized. Up top, we have all kinds of hats that are stored. Each one of these hats is labeled with a box number. Every single hat inside should have a tag pinned to it with that box number on it. This helps us put things away quickly and accurately. What you can't tell here is that these three mirrors can be pulled in so that you have a three-way mirror. Right here, this is where we do our fittings, but again, things have been moved for the summer cleaning and they'll slowly get moved back as needed. This is the makeup room. We also use it as a classroom for costume classes as well as some others. If you are taking the makeup class next year, I hope, each one of these areas will be for you to do your makeup under fancy lights. Things to note in this room, over by the sinks, here's the location of the first aid kit in the makeup room. This is also the room where we store some of our vintage clothing collection. We have cabinets of shoes and this entire back area where we keep the vintage items stored. We have boxes with labels of what is in the boxes and photographs on top so you don't have to open the boxes unless you need to. And also inside each locker, there are costumes hanging. The goal is for that, not this one. Above each locker, there are boxes of vintage clothing with labels in them and photographs on top to help you know what's in the box so the clothing doesn't get handled very much. Also, several items are in lockers hanging up. Each item in a locker should have a label with a hanging tag and a location number so that you always know after you've used it for your research where it goes. Here are the doors to the Arena Theater. Right over here is our men's dressing room for the Arena Theater. As you can see in here, we have the prop box. This is usually located in the hallway. If we have any costume props that are needed for the show, they will be stored safely inside here. In this room, as always, we have storage. We have hats. Up top, we have an actor locker for you to store your items as actors. More hats. A crew locker for you to store your items for crew. And we also have our vintage furs stored in these locker rooms. Right across from the call board for the Woods Theater, you will find the women's dressing room. Now we have men's bathroom. We walk into this little hallway. It's for the women's bathroom here, and then here is our women's dressing room. Lucky for you, this wedding dressing room is still set up for Detroit 67. We have the makeup mirrors over here. We have hair and makeup research posted for the actors to see. As always, there's hat storage. And we have our wardrobe supplies, including hair supplies, an iron and ironing board, a sewing table, a go bag, thread, a steamer, and the costumes. Like I was talking about before, here we have actor ditty bag filled with things like bras. Their costumes all hung up facing the front of the rack. That's very important. And then each person goes down the line. And as always, a place for actors to store their items and a place for crew to store their items. Our final stop today is down the stairs into the basement. This is our basement costume storage. We go through prop storage, seeing all the cool stuff they have. Here, to find costume storage, find the yellow path marked on the ground, which will take you, boom, right here. This is our costume basement storage. This is where we keep specialty items and are in the process of making it look amazing. Down here we have things such as overcoats, dancewear, long skirts, robes, tunics, and capes. Whoa, we have short military vests, coats, jackets, puffer vests, leather jackets, jean jackets, all kinds of old-timey tunics and things like that, cow print, and tuxedos, dinner jackets. Finally, we have uniforms and military. To finish the costume tour, this is immediately outside the front door. To finish our tour of our costume spaces, we're going to take you outside to the back lot right now with the construction. If you need to access the costume shop, you either need to go through the hallway, come through those doors over there, walk over to the shop, or there is this handy little boardwalk next to the new Student Union that will take you all the way around along the building so you can exit this way, period. We are going to wrap up with a few safety things. So here, from those doors that exit near the green room, here's our spray table. This is a table that is primarily used for spray painting costumes, props, anything like that. It's important that you have lots of air circulation when you spray or use any type of aerosol, and this is dedicated to that purpose. If you are sitting on a bench right next to it, not smoking, and someone comes to spray, please vacate so that they can use this area safely and you also remain safe. Over here we also have the clothing rack where we dry items outside or let them hang to air out. Here are the main doors to the costume shop. If you are in the costume shop and need to leave for any emergency reason, we have this little sidewalk here that will lead you around the Speech Arts building, all the way next to the building and out. You can also get out between the music building and the Speech Arts building over on this side, in addition to going through this door, but only if it's safe to re-enter the building. This concludes our tour of the costume spaces. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you have any questions, please email me, let me know. Otherwise, I cannot wait to see you all in person.